Hey guys.
How's everybody doing this evening? Hope everybody's doing well. We got Trisha in the chat. We got Win Whispers. What's up, Red Rider? How you doing, brother? So, what are we talking about tonight, guys? We're going to be talking about the recent news, the headlines with the Annabelle doll and the rumors and whatnot. So, we'll wait till a couple more people get in here. I do have a few things pulled up. So, the best thing to do when we look into something is we look at all the evidence, the background of things. Where do stories start? You know, where's all this coming from? Okay? What is the real story of the Annabelle doll? Like, you got to know, these are the things you have to know first.
Well, I think first, if we back it up for just a second, when we started wanting to do like paranormal lives and things, like before you and I started our channel, you had already researched the Annabelle doll.
A little bit,
just
yeah.
just to have something like to talk about, like the history on that. We were researching a lot of haunted things at the time. So this kind of, we were debating whether we even wanted to really discuss this or not because of our opinions on it. So
Yeah.
everybody's entitled to their own opinion, and that's fine.
But apparently, we are not alone in our stance on this, okay, guys? We'll get into a little bit more of that here in a few minutes. But I wanted to look up a few things that I found rather interesting. Because stories take a life of their own. You know, like, somebody will tell a story. Each time it gets told, somebody will add a detail, it gets embellished and whatnot. So, just a little background, guys. I don't know if anybody knows anything about the Annabelle doll. Sadly, they're actually selling an Annabelle movie doll at Target for $600, guys. 600 fucking bucks for, and it's not even the real one, because the real Annabelle doll is Raggedy Ann, a Raggedy Ann doll that all of us have seen many times as kids. I guarantee anybody in this chat has seen a Raggedy Ann doll. I've seen it.
Actually, I didn't know until you started researching it. Whenever I thought about Annabelle, I thought about
The Conjuring doll. Yeah, the doll that we see on the movies.
Which the movie's based off of, like the story of that.
The embellished, anyway, yes.
Of course, but
it's
that's where
folklore, guys. Okay, so the real Annabelle doll is a Raggedy Ann doll that Ed and Lorraine Warren claimed was demonically possessed and housed in their occult museum. The doll's story began in 1970 when a mother gifted it to her daughter. Donna, who was a nursing student, the daughter, Donna, she was the nursing student. I think she was like 27 years old, I believe.
Said 28 or something.
So strange occurrences like the doll moving on its own, leaving messages. I don't know how they were doing that. But basically they had a psychic medium. They consulted a psychic medium about this doll. And the psychic medium said that the doll was inhabited by the spirit of a young child named Annabelle Higgins. Okay? A girl, a human spirit, a child. So, obviously, it made its way to Ed and Lorraine Warren. And somehow along this journey, guys, it got dubbed as demonic.
My opinion on that, though. So when
how did it get dubbed demonic? That's what I was getting to.
I just think that's because of
Ed. Right. Well, it's because
he was a demonologist or whatever.
No, yes, he was a demonologist, but Ed and Lorraine Warren were members of the Roman Catholic Church.
I know, okay?
That's where the demonic stuff is coming from. The end. That's I'm telling you, hands down, that is what it's from. That's what I get blowback the most from are Bible thumpers. Hey guys, there's nothing wrong with the Bible, nothing wrong with religion, but we get a lot of backlash from Catholics, and
Well, not
according
just
to them,
Catholics.
mostly Catholics. What I get is them saying that the spirits, there are no spirits, they're just demons, demons and angels, which is not true. But that's kind of when you don't know. A lot of times people, they're scared of the unknown. So the unknown is scary, therefore evil, therefore demonic. That's how it kind of works in that realm of the Roman Catholic Church, right? Because they don't believe in ghosts. It's either an angel or a demon. So it's obviously why they went from it's well. So Ed and Lorraine Warren were convinced that it was not a young girl. That in fact it was demonic in nature. So basically, that's why it's been housed in its little box, and so that's the origin, guys. I wanted to know, how did it become demonic? Where did that come from, right? Because I knew that it was a doll. Guys, there's a lot of haunted dolls. There's a lot of haunted toys because children, especially back in the 1800s, didn't have a lot of toys. They would have maybe one toy, one doll, and it was normally a homemade doll or something like that. And those dolls were prized possessions of children then. We got our little buzzball, little minis tonight. So
it's controlled that way.
Yeah, a little more controlled. So, I mean, we leave dolls for the Totten kids. They love them. But there's, guys, go look on YouTube. You will see countless videos of moving dolls.
Here's my favorite scary doll.
Oh, Chucky,
Chucky.
Yeah. That gave her nightmares. Chucky never really scared me, but I don't know why it terrorized you. Just moving dolls.
I have a funny story about that later. But
so, but that's how it is, guys. It became like folklore, and then it inspired the movie, and then the movie, they made this creepy ass looking, demonic looking doll that is nothing like a Raggedy Ann doll. So let's fast forward a little bit. This doll has changed hands from the nursing student to
I thought just Ed and Lorraine.
Ed and Lorraine, but then when they passed,
right.
it got handed down to another gentleman, not Dan Rivera, another gentleman. He was, I forget his name. I should have looked this one up, but he was the one that was on Ghost Adventures with Zach Bagans. And he was giving Zach explicit instructions: do not touch the doll. But that Zach goes up and pokes it anyway, and he says it possessed him to do that.
Oh my.
So Dan Rivera has been handling this doll, guys, for decades. Decades. So here's how I see it. If somebody just made the trip to see the doll, they had never handled it before, never seen it before, and they showed up, picked the doll up, and bloop, keeled over, then I'd be like, what's up with that, right? But so from what I understand, his death has been ruled natural causes, and do you have Jason Hawes' statement?
Yeah.
I want to read this to you guys, and this is exactly how we feel. It's really sad what's going on because people are making this out to be way more than it is, and it's really disrespectful to his legacy, to his name, to his family, because it has nothing to do with this doll. So Jason Hawes...
It says he does not believe in the emerging conspiracies that his death is somehow linked to the Annabelle. Let's see. It said recently, this is a quote directly from him. Recently, the world lost a good man. That's what Hawes wrote on July 16th. He said Dan was an Army veteran, a father of four, a husband, and someone who truly cared about people. What's even harder to see right now are the posts blaming his death on things like the Annabelle doll.
Yeah, that's very hurtful to, I'm sure, his legacy and his family and whatnot. But come on, guys, it's you know how they're gonna do. They're gonna make content out of this for weeks and weeks and weeks until the next crazy thing happens. But that's, it's just another example of things being taken a little further, like Well, these are good luck superstitions. How 30 interesting superstitions and their origins. Good luck. Let's see, where's the bad luck ones? These are all good luck
Lisa
ones.
Wigger says Ed and Lorraine's son-in-law keep the doll.
Oh, I'm missing all these comments, guys. I've been
museum.
thinking there ain't been no comments all this time. It's been moving. I've been missing them. Sorry, guys. Let me go back and look.
She said that their son-in-law keep the doll and museum.
Yes. Yeah, that's who it is.
Is his son-in-law then part of like a paranormal group? Because I did read something like earlier, like, so that's really my job whenever we're going to do a show on anything, is the history stuff. But I did read something earlier that says,
son-in-law.
you know, he was in part
Boom,
of
there
a
he is.
show.
There he is.
Their daughter, Judy.
That's Tony. Is that his name? Tony Sparrow? Yeah, he's a paranormal researcher and the son-in-law of famed paranormal researchers Lorraine and Edward Warren. So that's the gentleman right there who was on Ghost Adventures with Zach Bagans. He's the one who told him specifically, do not touch the doll. He does it anyway because that's Zach. He's got to do it for ratings. He's got to fake a possession at least once a show. That's one of the things that you'll never, ever, ever see me do, man. I can't do that, man. I can't.
Well,
Yeah.
according to this ABC like news article that I read, it says that Dan was on the Devil on the Run tour for NESPR. So that's some kind of paranormal thing. You should look that up.
Okay.
It says he was traveling with a Raggedy Ann doll, referred to as Annabelle. And he'd been doing this for 10 years.
Yeah, it's why and why now? Why now is there a problem? Why now is he falling victim to this? It's just when we get the death report back, guys, we're going to see that it's natural causes. Like it's very sad. He was still a young man, many years left. So I feel bad for the family, very bad for the family. But
the whole reason I was saying that was to tie
Rabbit.
that into what Lisa
And
was
Celia.
saying. I was wondering if
And
that was his
and Aries.
son-in-law who has that paranormal group that he was touring with.
Well, hey, Mod 148, what's going on? Come on, guys. A million people have gone to see this thing. It's been passed around it's been handed down. How come it didn't affect anybody else? Well, there is a rumor that there was, I think a priest who insulted the doll or something, and then he was in a car accident. In my opinion, another coincidence. You know, especially now, this day and age, it's with all the texting and driving. Come on.
Hey, BB.
A lot of coincidences, guys, that they want to hype up as to make it paranormal, and that's just, it's sad. It's truly sad. It has nothing to do with that, but that's our opinion. I know everybody thinks that there's some paranormal aspect to it. I don't think so. You guys already know how I feel about the whole demonic shit. Jason Hawes has been doing this also for probably as long, if not longer, than the Ghost Adventures crew. And he even weighed in about the Conjuring House, specifically about that affecting the owner, because the owner and the Hawes family have been in a little bit of a dispute. I don't know if you guys have been following that, but people were kind of blaming the Conjuring House as affecting this woman's emotions and personality and whatnot. And it's another excuse because she's just an asshole, plain and simple. An asshole's an asshole. You can't blame it on a house or a car or somebody else. It's it was her own personal character flaws, but nonetheless, it was not paranormal. And just like this, it's a good story, guys. They make good movies.
Well, why don't we ask the opinion? Let's see.
Okay, well, that's fair, and I respect people's opinions. I mean, people might think that there's more to it, and they're free to think that. I personally do. What do you guys think? Put a 1 in the chat if you think that it's paranormal. A 2 if you just think life happens and it's a coincidence.
Did you guys see him take over my poll? Hi,
Sorry.
Sarah Jean.
Yep, there's that. Hi, Ace. Hi, Ari. Hi,
Aw,
guys.
Hi, guys.
Love you guys. I hope they got it. I hope you got it on the TV, Sarah, so the grands can see us.
Oh, my babies.
Yeah, good. We got some smart people in here. You know, it's you can't just believe anything. That's the thing. We look for reasoning. Why is it? Why are people feeling this way? What's behind some of this? So I was looking up some other stuff. Where the hell is it? I pulled it up a couple of times. So you guys have heard stuff like walking under a ladder, a black cat crossing your path, breaking a mirror. I mean, how many? The number 13, opening an umbrella indoors. How many of you in the chat are superstitious about any of the things I just said? Put a 1 in the chat if you are superstitious about anything I just said. Black cats, breaking mirrors, walking under ladders. Because I know a lot of people...
My grandmother was very, very superstitious. Couldn't split poles.
Split poles.
Couldn't, like... What was it? Cut your hair and then, oh gosh, put it in the trash or something, like when you clean the hair, because she said these birds would make nests out of your hair.
Throwing salt over your shoulder, things like
then,
all kinds of...
Yeah.
I remember the bird nest thing. Yeah.
And then you'd have a headache, like all kinds of stuff. My grandmother was super
Here's an example, guys. Black cats crossing your path. Western culture, this is thought to be a bad omen. The superstition has roots in medieval Europe, where black cats were linked to witchcraft and evil. The association was intensified by whatever the hell that is. It was intensified in the 13th century, declaring them an incarnation of Satan. And you know how ridiculous that sounds? People were really simple-minded back in medieval times, right? In the 13th century, they didn't know shit. Right? So it was a bad omen to see a black cat. You know, I personally have had several black cats in my life, and they were the sweetest, greatest cats I ever had. So they certainly weren't reincarnations of Satan. That's ridiculous. But that's one example, guys, how I didn't know that till I read this earlier. I had no clue. So I wanted to look into what are some of the origins behind this shit, right? Breaking a mirror. This is widely believed to bring 7 years of bad luck. The belief originates from ancient cultures, once again, particularly the Romans, who thought mirrors reflected the soul. Breaking a mirror was seen as damaging the soul or disrespecting the gods who observed through mirrors, leading to bad luck until the body and soul renewed itself in the 7-year cycle. And we know that mirrors are tin and glass. That's it. Glass and metal, tin of some kind, or a painted metallic surface with glass over it. That's all it is. It's not a reflection into the soul. It's a reflective surface. But how many of... I know when I was a kid, I broke a mirror and I was scared to death. I was like 7 or 8 years old. It's one of those handheld mirrors. You know, and when you're a young kid like that, that's when you start hearing all these type of things, right? The superstitions. And I broke a mirror, and it scared the shit out of me.
Let's see. I saw OG Mike said earlier on that I think it was grandmother, had a lot of like superstitions, like Sicilian superstitions.
Yep.
And then I think my daughter shared, she was also saying, I guess at the same time, that some stuff that grandma used to do. Like some other superstitions.
My mother?
My grandmother.
Your grandmother?
Yeah.
Well, I know that on the Sicilian side of my family, there's a little bit of superstition too. So yeah.
I'd like to hear like a couple, if anybody knows of any like odd ones that they want to share.
What's up, Muggsy?
I find that interesting.
There's some superstition that involve nature and how it acts with storm. Yeah. Well, here's one superstition, guys, that I know for a fact, and Tabitha can attest to this one, that full moons.
Yeah, it really does. That is a true thing. I never believed that until I worked night shift. But the scientific like research about it says because it does change the way like the gravitational
pull,
on
yeah.
the, yeah.
Mhm.
So I don't think that's really a superstition because it's backed by science.
Well, it's a superstition that actually is backed by science.
So it doesn't make it a superstition because it's like an actual.
Well, what else?
thing.
Well, yeah, because what happens is those superstitions turn into all kinds of crazy shit like werewolves and things like that on the full moon, right?
Yeah. Well,
But
that's just a myth.
It's folklore.
Mm-hmm.
Like black cats crossing your path and, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
So there's those type of things, guys. And that's what happened to the Annabelle doll, guys. It just took on a life of its own.
What do you say to me all the time? You're super, like, one thing you say to me all the time.
Does your face hurt? It's
No,
killing me.
I meant superstition stuff.
Don't split poles.
That's it.
Don't split
all
poles.
the time. I don't think you ever. You got that from my grandmother, didn't
No,
you?
I got that from Gary because he said he would say that every time he split poles with somebody, he'd go back to the penitentiary. But he had like 8 prison numbers, and it had nothing to do with splitting poles or stepping on a crack. You know, because believe me, guys, when I was pissed off when I was a kid, I would be stomping on those cracks, trying to break spines and backs and everything.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, you try to break your mama's back. That's what that is.
I'm just joking.
Oh, that's terrible.
Well, if you step on a line, you break your father's spine, don't you? Isn't it that? Haven't you heard that one? So I was stepping on lines and cracks and everything, man.
You were just.
I wanted to see what happened, man.
What?
Stomp on that motherfucker a little bit. See,
That's
hey,
terrible.
Are you feeling anything?
I literally would not try to step on the crack.
I'm just bullshitting.
Who really wanted their mom's back to be broken? Please put a 1 in the chat if you purposely stepped on the crack. Look, Sarah said, "Dad, oh my fucking God."
You've heard that one before.
But she didn't step on the crack, I know. Cause
No, she stepped on the fucking ice patch that I told her. All right, guys. All right, I'm gonna tell you a story. Sarah, you earned this one. It's coming back to bite you in the ass 20 fucking years later. No.
Oh,
about
Celia
15
said
years.
Johnny was a bad boy.
I was a bad boy.
Sarah said she only walked on cracks. Lies.
So
You walked the line.
they were kids, right? She was probably 7, and my son was probably 8, right? And I said, guys, put your coats on, take the trash out together. I would send them out together.
They were probably 3 and 4.
And I had already walked the dog because they weren't able to walk the dog. She pulled and she would bite people, so I had to keep her away. She was very protective over the family. So I already peeped out that there was a patch of ice between the sidewalk and the dumpster. I already peeped it out, guys. I seen it. It was about a 2-foot circle, right? So I said, Sarah, watch out for that ice. A minute and a half later, she comes in, head busted, crying, and she literally tried to slide on that ice on purpose and took a L. Boom! But that's what I'm saying. You know,
And it made her brilliant.
It did. It knocked some sense into her.
She is like smart, super smart. She's probably, well, her and her sister are equally smart. My son's smart too. But the girls are the girls don't have to study. They don't have to work at it.
Yeah, my son's like me. We're a hands-on type of. We learn hands-on.
Yeah, and he's like me in the fact that if he's bored with it, he's just done.
Yeah, you're only gonna learn if you want to learn.
Our
if you don't want to learn, you ain't
grandkids
gonna
are
learn.
super smart too. And Sarah said Joey thought I died.
Yeah, I know because I'm telling you,
probably passed out for a second. I could see him really freaking out.
I've lost consciousness from falls before, like from when I was a kid.
Aw.
Roller skates on pavement, whoop, boom, and just lay there for a minute, not knowing what the hell's going on. And I've hit the ice before too, you know, and that hurts. It hurts. I know, Sarah. It friggin' hurts.
I'm sure she got
But
in trouble.
She did get in trouble
I know.
because I was trying to save you from that because I just
She
freaking
said I got
guys.
knocked out.
I had a freaking feeling. I saw that ice and I see. I do have a little bit of psychic ability because I fucking knew it. I knew it. I knew she was.
That's not psychic. We just knew our daughter, and I'll leave it at that because my grandbabies are watching. We just knew our daughter. It wasn't psychic.
Yeah, it wasn't. Man, maybe not. But
Sarah liked to test the waters.
In this case, the ice. Let's see. Let's read some of the comments here. I keep swiping away from
Yeah,
this.
there's been a lot going on in the chat.
Oh, yeah, it hurts. Yes, it does. I fully believe in the karma part of superstition. Oh well, karma is a rule of energy and law. I think that's karma. I think ties in with Newton's third law. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. And if you're putting out negative energy, you get back negative energy. So
see, then that if you believe it ties into Newton's, then that also is backed by science.
Yeah, it is. Some of it, like as
But
I'm
then
saying,
that doesn't make karma. So, excuse me. So mystical to me. Like it's kind of like, to me, karma's like, I know it's going to happen to somebody if they do this action. So, like, because I truly believe that. So it's like, but I don't know. It's like, I don't know, understand. I don't.
Yeah,
know
but
how to explain
sometimes
it. Do
you
you
get
understand what I'm
yeah,
saying? But like, I like the thought of it. Just that's how it works for no reason. I don't want it to be backed by Newton's law. Basically,
Why?
is what I'm saying.
Why? I want
'Cause I don't
a real
there
reason.
to be a scientific reason for it. I just want it to be like a thing. Just like I just want it
It's
to
a
be
truth.
an
Well, it is a
unknown
truth.
thing.
Well, you got some people like
Another
atheists.
belief.
You have some people that are atheists that believe that there is no consequences, there is no karma because there is no God and there is no rules and there is no consequences because there is no afterlife. So you can do whatever. You can whack out 50 people and you ain't gonna be no different than the next guy that whacked out nobody, right?
Yeah.
Because there's no consequences. But we know that's not true. And I feel sorry for the atheists that there's a lot of people that are closed-minded. And those people, I wish I could just kidnap them just for like a couple of hours and take them out to Edenton Cemetery and drop their asses off in the back of the cemetery at night. And be like, don't worry about it. You don't think it's haunted. Just slowly walk out.
But I feel like unless they believe or have that type of sense, they're not going to have the same experiences
bullshit.
that we have,
Bullshit.
especially
You
if they
go
don't
there,
have like a spirit box or something. You know what I mean?
I don't know about that.
Because I feel like we're more in tune with that. Do we have proof? Of course we have proof.
Yeah, but
I
that's
feel like we're more in tune, and if you're not a believer, you're not going to go out there and
yeah,
be
but
open-minded.
I'm gonna poke holes in that one.
Okay.
Because our phones are not believers or disbelievers. Our phones are just devices that pick up sounds. And our phones are picking up audible sounds coming from the cemetery. So if they have ears that work, they're going to hear the sounds that are being picked up.
But I feel like they're going to think...
I hear it more, but there are definite people talking out of that cemetery, whether you believe in that paranormal or not. They're just going to think that there's a human being in the woods.
Let me explain
you
it
just
to
want
you.
She just wants to say the opposite of whatever I say, guys.
No, let me explain it to you this way and tell me if I'm wrong.
All right.
Before we did like spirit boxes and we did our investigations and stuff, how many times were we out there like camping with the kids and just things like that, and we would hear noises and things, and if you don't see it or think about it or you're not in tune with it, you're like, oh, that's a twig over there, or the wind blew funny in my ear.
Okay, that's
fine.
fine.
Did you just say something?
So right, so you're saying that they're not going to hear the sounds, but right now you're saying they are hearing the sounds.
I'm gonna say that if they don't
I just
believe
said that.
it,
I just said that. They're going to discount it as being a person in the woods or somebody walking by somewhere that's talking. That's what they're going to think it is, but it's not. I just said that. You just want to argue everything. Look, if I take you out, any of you out to Edenton Cemetery and drop you off at 10 p.m. or 11 p.m. and it's dark and there's nobody around, no cars, no sound, you are going to hear something. I don't care what she says, you're going to hear something. I'll drop her off out. I've been out there alone. Now it's your turn. No, you really don't think that people would hear. Here, I got it right here.
Read Sarah's question.
Okay, but the real question is, how did the first person make a TV who invented change? What do you? I don't know. Google that, Sarah. I'm gonna tell you like I've always told you. Google that shit.
That's
Google
his
it.
favorite
You
answer.
wanna
You
you wanna
should
know
have
who made it
known.
first? Google it. Who invented a TV? Who invented a phone? I would think that one of them's Thomas Edison, right? Now it's a light bulb.
But why are you asking that question?
Yeah, why are you asking that question?
Her brain is thinking something.
Well, do you have cameras? White Mike, do you have cameras shut off during a cemetery? But we have had cameras shut off in a cemetery. We've had them shut off here. We had them shut off at the Thomas house. And at the Thomas house, they shut them off. And then I got an EVP of somebody saying, I'm fucking with you.
But when we bought our first camcorder, like we had only used it a couple times. It was still
yeah.
really new.
They fried it.
This is when we were like very new. And so we're at the cemetery that we no longer really go to.
Because it's so negative at night. Yeah.
Yeah, the one that we've shared that we had issues. And it like fried it. Like the weather was fine, wasn't too hot, wasn't too cold. Camera's new. I'm recording John, and then it freezes. And then that was it. And it was brand new still.
Yeah, that was actually its first.
And at that point, I really
Yeah, it was a virgin in the field until that night, like literally, and then it got fried. And then I pulled out my iPhone, and then the first 15 seconds, she caught the mist floating by, shooting by. So like there was definitely a spirit right there with very powerful energy. That I still have that camera, it still don't work. It started back up like once for like 10 seconds, and then it crapped out again. It was a bummer. But now what happened was we ended up with this other camera, and this thing's like a freaking gold mine with the EVPs, man. It's got an extra sensitive microphone on it.
And then Lisa says, with karma, the moment we try to interfere with karma, like trying to speed it up or wishing negative on others, that karma gets flipped back on yourself.
Thank you. Yep, it's true. It's really true. And I'm seeing, not for nothing, but I've seen a lot of that stuff play out, even on YouTube, guys. Even in the last couple of months, I've seen a lot of karma doled out. and that's what happens. You know, that's one of the reasons when I was in the other community or on the other channel, arguing with people, I knew that energy being put out was really starting to come back. It's no good. But I've seen literally people just implode from the stuff they put out. Alexander Graham Bell, there you go. That's the telephone. Well, who did the TV? Well, who did a radio? Because I wonder who's the first person to have caught an EVP through the radio. I want to know that. I'd like to know that.
Isn't like that all?
Who caught the first EVP? I want to know.
Wind Whispers says electric energy runs through us as well as everything around us. We are all energy.
Yep,
Yes,
electricity.
absolutely.
Yep, energy. Okay, the earliest recordings believed to be EVP, electronic voice phenomena, were made by Waldemar Bogoris in 1901 while documenting a I don't know how to pronounce it. Shamanic ritual. It's I know shaman, but shamanic ritual. He recorded unexplained voices using a phonograph. That's cool. An invention from 1877. During a spirit conjuring ceremony, while many attribute the first EVP to Frederick Jurgensen, who recorded bird songs and later captured what he believed to be voices of the deceased. That's so cool. So, EVPs have been around for a while.
Sarah says that she meant the TV stuff makes me think of things beyond natural. Makes me think of that place we went to in Florida where they told us about the guy accused of working with aliens.
Oh, you're talking about Edward Leedskalnin. You're talking about the guy who built Coral Castle?
Yes, I think
Yeah,
that's
Coral,
exactly,
yeah. That's Coral Castle.
She paid such good attention. Look, Sierra's here. Hi, Sierra.
Hey, what's up? Yeah, that's really cool. So a phonograph caught the first EVP. And by the way, guys, our spirit box is not corrupted. I don't know what the heck happened, but the last couple of times we tried to do any spirit box live, it started crapping out. It works just fine.
Afterwards.
After the live, we shut it down the last week, turned it on, and it worked perfectly. It has not glitched one single time since the live. Not once.
And then I had to do a spirit box session with my eyes closed for like 15 minutes because we were happy that it was working again.
Yeah, but we caught your cousin that just passed.
That's right.
So
Yeah.
we got, she was wondering how her cousin was. It just passed. And I actually edited some of that today. She says, I'm happy.
Yeah.
And so her cousin comes through. Her uncle Mike on her father's side came through. Then her mother and her grandmother on her mother's side came through. Then your grandmother on your father's side also came through.
Yeah. I thought I heard the majority of them. I don't think I remember hearing my grandma Virginia.
Yeah, she even says her name too. She says Grandma Virginia.
But I did specifically wanted to hear from my cousin. So
yeah,
She
I
was
wonder how my
young.
cousin is. She says I'm happy. We did a session like a week or two ago, and we weren't recording it. We were just playing around, and she said her. Did you hear that?
No. I was reading a comment.
She said her name very clearly. I wish I would have recorded it.
Hey Lynn.
Hey, Lynn.
Hey unapologetic, excuse me.
Oh, baby's birthday. Oh, cool. Nice. They're going to have fun.
Unapologetic says Johnny Mac, what's up? And hello
Hey.
to Mrs.
CG, hey, what's going on, brother? We're talking about, we were just talking about
A little bit of everything.
the passing of Dan Rivera and how we don't think it has anything to do with the Annabelle doll. And it would be nice if people put that to bed and stop saying that.
Well, everybody's entitled to their opinion. We were really just giving our opinion on it. Then that kind of led into like myths and
Yeah, but there's
that kind of stuff.
True.
So, and then we just have been rolling from there.
But yeah, it's as soon as I heard, a lot of people sent me the link.
But what
to the
I love
story.
about it is that you got a lot of links, like a lot of people who were sending you the link, and I got the same thing at work, but in person. Like one of the nurses I work with said, our manager really wants to talk to you to get your opinion on the Annabelle situation. So I thought that was really cool. I
Word's
really
getting
did.
out that she's a ghost hunter.
Yeah.
I guarantee. Well, there's a few people I'll be running into in a week down in Milford when I meet up with a few people, and they're gonna be hitting me up all about this stuff too.
Yeah.
It's smash that like button, guys. Already we got 27 likes. Nice, killing it. Yeah, so so we really started digging into legends and stuff. We really wanted to know what some of the origins were, but these are just inspirations from movies and whatnot.
Actually, what I think is really cool
Pull back up some
also
of
about my
these.
cousin we were just talking about that died prematurely and unexpectedly is where it's going to be a celebration of life where it's going to be held. Did you see?
No, where is it going to be held?
In a historical museum in Loveland.
Which one?
Oh, I'll tell you here in just a second. I sent you the thing earlier.
I saw the picture. I just didn't see the
That
location.
was her thing. Her celebration of life will be held, it says the date, at Joanne Richardson. Oh, historic house. Sorry.
I don't even know what that is.
Oh, so
cool.
historic Loveland at the Loveland Historical Society Museum.
Oh, nice.
I thought how ironic, especially with everything.
I mean, I'm not gonna even bring it up. I know that her aunt, the mother of the cousin that was just lost, reached out recently and wanted to speak to us about our channel. She didn't go into detail, but she did want to speak to us about the channel. So I've been trying to catch an EVP, something I can show her. And yeah, I put and you know, I put this offer out to a few people. I've tried to help out a few people. We're gonna start doing what I'd like to do though for a few people in the near future. I start setting up some things like if somebody wants to contact somebody or wants to hear from somebody, you know, I'm open to doing some like private sessions. You know, we can do a FaceTime. Lynn can attest to this. Um, you guys, I don't know if y'all know who Sessa is. He's a friend of mine. He was on the other channel with me. He did a video with me, Anthony Sessa. I was able to get to his son. His son came through for him. So I've done this for several people. I've done it for Lynn too, and I've helped a few people out on YouTube and just sent them some EVPs. But if somebody wants to do like a private session to where you can ask questions yourself through the phone, FaceTime in real time, and try to get the answers, and then I can edit it for you, and you can get the words to your session. You can see exactly what was said, because we're gonna miss 85-90% of it. That's what happens with the spirit box.
I would
Comes
say
by so quick. Yeah,
that much. I would
it
say
depends.
close, more like 80, 85 maybe.
Yeah, 80-85%. Yeah. At the most, I'll catch 25% of it. It goes. Sometimes it's clear, you catch a lot. Sometimes it's just quick blips and you don't catch it. But when you go back to review it, you're blown away at the stuff that's said. Completely blown away. I always am. I get excited.
Yeah, I agree. I am too. Well, I shared, I think, last week that EVPs are like my favorite, especially like once I like really started realizing, like, I don't know. Sometimes it was hard for me to hear, and they're getting easier and easier to hear, and I still get just as excited.
Well, speaking to people on the spirit side never gets old. Not to me, anyway. How cool is that, guys? I mean, we're speaking to people that, in some cases, some of these spirits that we speak to are from the 1800s. I mean, they've been gone for 150 years. They passed away. You know, some of them were born over 200 years ago. That's really cool.
How many people can say they do that? We feel very blessed to be able to do that.
Well, I mean, the cool part is convincing the world that we're able to do that. I'm not interested in. I try to share the evidence that we get, but I'm not out to convince people that this is what we do. These are the people, because most people are going to be like, yeah, bullshit.
No, we don't care.
I know that. I mean, and I'm fine with that, because me personally, I used to call bullshit on a bunch of what Zach Bagans did for a very long time.
But now we know better.
Damn it. It's that phone that has the screenshot. Did you take the picture?
Of what?
The bill. Cracker Barrel.
Yeah, we shared that the
Oh, we
last
did.
time.
Okay.
Yeah.
I caught it again. The number came up again, and I have a screenshot on here. But those three numbers came up again, guys.
Yeah.
So it's a reoccurring theme, and that's one of the things that I criticize.
But I think I've shared that before, that I also think it's because we pay more attention now. Like, my eyes are so much more like open when it comes to some of that stuff.
Hey,
And
Del Toro Rodriguez, greetings from Vallarta, Mexico. Oh, hello from Cincinnati, Ohio. Go ahead, sorry.
That's okay. I believe a lot of it's real, but then there's some things that I feel like I think I know, well, that didn't really happen. It's just like, I'm just in my head about, spirits and stuff.
You mean
We've talked
paranormal
about
things?
that. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, well,
How every like little crack and little pop we hear,
it's not all
it's not all paranormal.
No.
But what it has changed is the fact that I like think about it now. Like, was that paranormal? Was that somebody saying hello? And I'm starting to get in the habit that either way, I'll be like, hello, I know you're there, because
you know
whether
that they
it's
are.
if they're there at that moment or not,
you know that they're there.
yes, correct. Yeah. And then I've acknowledged them, and I feel better acknowledging them than assuming,
Well, knowing that they're there, at first it's an odd feeling. I got to be honest. It is an odd feeling. I know based off of equipment that when we wrap it up for the night and we go up to the room, and we're in the bedroom, they don't come into the room. They don't. There's times like during the day I've set up the equipment.
I don't
and
know that we know that.
Well,
I don't know
well,
that we know
I
that.
mean, there may be some peepers, but if you think about it, that's probably quite a regular thing from that realm.
How do you know that? How are they with us everywhere else we go if we truly believe that? And the one time we don't believe that is when we're in like our most like private place.
Well, I'm sure that there's some perverts from that side, just like there's jerks from that side. There's perverts, but how you can't stop
Well,
it
you're
from
the pervert
happening.
because I don't mean like just when we're like.
Well, you mean the bathroom?
You know,
We asked,
I'm
is the
thinking,
bathroom off
like-
limits? They said no. Remember?
But I'm thinking like even like when we're sleeping, how can you assume that like nobody's in there? Like you,
Oh,
like
they
the
are,
bedroom is like a like they don't pass that.
Well, they are in some people's cases because people get terrorized at night.
So then you just don't think they're in there when we're having
I-
sex? Like I don't get it.
I think that I think that it depends on the spirits. Some are respectful, some aren't. The ones that aren't respectful kind of get like booted out of our house. We have a lot of people that kind of like toe the line and keep the other ones in line. You know what I'm saying? Just like we did a session the other night, and they say something about on to the next one. So that there's some type of order, like they keep some type of order on that side. When I first started, I used to ask Steve-O, can you ask these people, the spirits, to come through one at a time, form a line, and I'll get to you guys one at a time. And I've actually caught him saying that. So
you have.
It's
more
really
than
cool.
once.
I don't believe they give us yeah. She's like, I'm with the wifey on this. I don't believe they give us full privacy, says Wind Whispers.
Perfect.
I still like a lot of I don't like him. I don't like him because of the shady ways he's obtained stuff for his museum, specifically the evidence from the. Oh yeah, well he bought the Jack Kevorkian van from Les over at Hardcore Pond in Detroit. That's kind of sick though, because in that case, I'm actually a real big fan of Dr. Kevorkian. I actually believe that he was definitely a great doctor, way ahead of his time. There's a lot of states right now that are making assisted suicide, if that's what you want to call it. That's not really what it is. It's more like a medical service for people in need. But Dr. Kevorkian was definitely ahead of his time and should not have been sent to prison. I'm a big fan of him.
I would like to know the chat's opinion on euthanasia, Dr. Kevorkian's, like, you know, what he believed in. Put a 1 in the chat if you agree with him.
Oh, if you
a 2 if you disagree.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'd like to know.
I'm curious.
I'm interested.
Because especially with me, even before I ever became a nurse, I had an opinion about that, and that it hasn't changed. So, Wind Whispers says 2.
No. A no?
I know. 1 was agree, a 2 was a disagree.
Well, you know, it depends. You know, the one thing that I admired about Dr. Kevorkian is that he told the patients a lot of the times, you have more time. We're not there yet. And he turned down 99% of the cases that were submitted to him.
You know, I totally respect everybody's opinion and want them to feel safe with saying it in the chat. I'm going to give the reason for my opinion. And of course, a lot of it does have to do with like my career as a nurse. But I do think that if you watch someone suffer who is like begging to go, then they should have that right, especially if they have like a terminal illness. I feel like it, from what I've seen, I know for a fact I don't want to ever suffer for a lot of reasons. And I feel like it's my life and I should have the right to be able to call up a doctor and say, hey, this is my evidence. This is why I no longer, I have all these chronic things and I'm suffering and nobody can help me. Please take me out of my misery. I think that should be my right.
And I agree.
But I do respect everybody else's opinion. I'm just giving you
But
my reason.
And I think that the way Dr. Kevorkian did it was the right way. He looked at the medical state of the patient and waited till they were in absolute dire need, and he could tell. And that was the reason he made those videos, because he knew he was going to be prosecuted. And when they played those videos in court, that what jury is going to convict? They're not going to.
Take nursing out of it. Like, honestly, just think about someone that you love, in pain and just not wanting to be here, and the pain's not going to get any better, and that's backed by evidence. We have the right to do a lot of other things, say and do, the right to bear arms, etc. We should also have the right to choose if we want to suffer. Now, I don't agree with somebody completely healthy,
Yeah, that's
I
different.
don't agree with.
No, if it's a mental part, if it's something like
the S word, I don't agree with that.
If it's depression or something like that, that's not anything that's a qualifier.
Literally, we do it to animals. I'm talking about
That's true.
Literally a diagnosis that is terminal and the patient is suffering and begging to be taken
Which
out
is
of
what we
that.
do for animals too, when they're suffering and they're in pain.
So I just wanted to clarify that. I don't agree with.
It's a kind, loving gesture at that point of life. I mean, that's my opinion.
But it would be hard to regulate, because you brought up mental illness.
Sure.
You can't just have somebody who's dealing with mental illness come into a doctor's office one day and.
So Trissa's talking about this Deborah Davis. She says that she has a room with all haunted dolls. So I don't know about that. I don't know if if I would want to collect a bunch of dolls that have attachments. I don't know. I mean, we already kind of have like a bunch of spirits here anyway. But collecting dolls, that's a little weird though, isn't it? Because to me, that's kind of like collecting spirits. Like if you think that they're because look, I know that some of the spirits come with us wherever we go. We have like an entourage and they want to be here. But I think in this case, if you're having these dolls that you think are inhabited by the spirits of whatever, and you're collecting those, why would you want to collect spirits? That's a little
like you said, if you believe in that, but I don't know. I do though believe. I don't know that I believe items can.
Oh yeah, they're talking about that.
I don't
know. I think that spirits can manipulate items. They can move a doll around.
With that.
In fact,
and that's probably actually what was happening with the Annabelle doll. Actually, going back to that, because I was reading that's what they were experiencing. They felt like the doll was changing positions and moving, and something about like writing something out, like "help me" or something.
Yeah, there was messages being left on parchment or something. I'm not sure how much I believe.
But I bet that's what was happening. Was more like a manipulation by a spirit. Oh, that's my final answer.
Well, we know that they moved we had to move the balloons. But as far as them like being in the doll, being like possessing the doll, I don't really know how much that would happen. No. I could see like
I just think it was like, hey, grandma's here, and scooted over.
Yeah,
but they didn't know.
Or this is my doll. And it's a girl that passed away. That was her doll. I mean, it was a used doll that was gifted, right? So the girl passed away. It was her doll, and she's still clinging to the doll. That's it. So she plays with the doll, and it moves, and that's it. She's not inhabiting the doll. I mean, it would be no different than Rachel or Cora Totten playing with the dolls that we give them.
No, I agree, but I don't know that I believe that they play with them. I just know that we take it there as a gift. I don't know what really happens. I've never really thought about it like they come, like they're there and they manipulate the doll.
Well, they play
I've
with the
never, like,
flashlights.
thought about that. Yeah, that they do.
You
But
know,
I also feel like their energy is here a lot with us.
some of them.
So, you know.
8 of them. They say 8. There's 20 of them at the Pioneer Cemetery. And some of the ones that are here with us are not buried in the Pioneer Cemetery. I caught Samuel Totten again in the zone.
Trisha says, off topic and off her, can I message Tabby and ask her a question?
Yeah,
of
absolutely.
course.
Anytime. I don't know if that can be manipulated, but not sure. Not stuck in that doll. But a spirit is different than a demon.
Correct.
And still, to trap a demon in a doll isn't something Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I was thinking about this morning. We were talking about that person that I used to do paranormal videos with.
Yes.
On the other channel.
Like all of 4.
Yeah.
Or 3.
Yeah. So she actually had a picture with the group. Have you guys ever heard of what the hell was it? What were they called? The Tennessee Wraith Chasers. They were a bunch of like hillbilly guys.
I remember seeing that picture.
They used to do this stupid shit where they would like build these freaking hillbilly traps that they would like fabricate them. They would literally go to like Lowe's or Home Depot and get some fucking plywood and some plexiglass and some pulleys and some rope, and we're gonna put a REM pod in the middle of this, and when it goes off, we're gonna drop the box down on it and catch a spirit.
But where are we going with this, babe?
I'm just saying it was really lame, and I just was remembering that, and I thought about that because we were talking about these spirits inhabiting dolls, and that triggered that memory of like these morons trying to catch a spirit. Good luck with that. Keep on trying. Let me know when you get one. But I guess it was just for content, but it was just so unbelievably fucking stupid. I don't know. I stopped watching because of that. You know, because that was back in the days when I wasn't watching anything on YouTube, so I had the DVR box, and anything that was paranormal, I would DVR.
Oh my gosh, a DVR.
And I would have nothing. It would be Paranormal Witness.
It would piss me off
Paranormal
because
Caught
all
on
of
Camera.
my female shows would be
Getting
all paranormal shit.
Because she didn't know.
That was
I'd go
long
in there and
before.
I would set mine to where they would not delete, no matter what.
He
right?
was the master of the remote. Master.
We ended up getting the big ass DVR where it would be unlimited shit, because at one point in time you could only DVR like one thing or 2 things at a time, and I was
Until
having
we paid for like unlimited.
Yeah, we went overboard with that shit. But yeah, I used to watch all of them shows, and even if they were really stupid, I would still watch them because that was the paranormal shows that were on. So I would just be up to date just to see what kind of evidence they would catch. And my favorite out of all of them, out of all the groups, would be Ghost Hunters.
Yeah. Yeah, that was my favorite too. That was the one you could get me to watch with you the most.
You're the one who got me started on that. What
You
are you
always say that.
Okay,
I don't
guys,
believe it.
she does not remember this,
Babe.
but I could tell you where we were. It was we lived in Pebblebrook, and she was binging Ghost Hunters. It was like season
I
1 or
literally
2,
don't believe this story.
and I'm like, "What are you watching?" She's like, "This is cool. It's ghost, and it's about hauntings or something." So I started watching it, and I got hooked. And
here we are. Now,
here we are.
I have a comment to read.
Go ahead.
Where did it go? It was Lisa's comment. Oh, Lisa says, I have spirits move things often, and I have to tell them to stop. I have things missing.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Or they turn up in odd places all the time around here. We will have arguments about that sometimes. I will be so frustrated thinking that he's just being a man. And like not like kind of looking on top of things, but not like really looking. And then we'll go back in there and it'll be in both of our faces. And I know I'm thorough at it.
Yeah.
I know. So I'll be like, oh my God.
I've told this story before.
Where did that come from? I think a lot of people can relate to that.
Yep.
Yeah. That's that it drives me crazy, especially when I spend a lot of time doing it.
Hey, Janet.
and then it pops up like way later.
Yeah, it's well. What's weird is it happened in my blood pressure pills, and they were up on my desk, and they were in a spot where I was already leaning over that spot, and I would have literally knocked the bottle over with my stomach, if they would have been there when I was leaning over the desk. They were not there. It's happened with keys, but yeah, it's that's cool though. There was I'm trying to think what paranormal show it was, but there was a video that it showed they had the camera focused in this living room, and there was a couch and an end table and like a lamp. It was like a little coffee table end table, and there was like a pamphlet on the table, and somehow it was there, then it wasn't there, and then it just was there again. So it for like a several seconds it disappeared. Where did it go? I don't know, but I think that's what happens. Pretty neat though. Okay. No, what do you need us to check it during the show or after the show or what? Bored with them. Yeah. Zach, I stopped when Zach did the Demon House documentary about the house. Yeah, I stopped watching. I watched a little bit after Nick and them parted ways. Um, but before Nick and Zach parted ways, he started with that bullshit where like once a show or every other show, he would start to get semi possessed and he would walk up and swat at the camera, or stand there and staring off into space and then look at him, make like a weird face and start like doing weird shit. It's like, dude, come on, man. Like, it spoiled it for me. Um, because he didn't have to do that. They caught good enough stuff already. They didn't need to do this, but I guess it works because he's the one who's still got seasons running. Hit Gettysburg, the Devil's Den. Yeah, Gettysburg is going to be one of the places we will definitely get to.
Gettysburg is where.
That's where this happened.
Yeah.
With the Annabelle thing.
The recent.
Yeah. So it's that's just I mean that's a paranormal bucket list place. Um, but I had plans on actually doing that a while back, but I ended up in a courthouse over in that area instead. Ghost Diaries on YouTube. Ghost Diaries. Sure. Zach and Nick. Um, Ghost Diaries. That's not Katrina, is it? Katrina Weedman. I know she knows a little bit of the behind the scenes stuff. No, I'll check it out though. Yeah, there's a lot of throwing weight around. I mean, it's no different than YouTube or competing with, they're in competition. So from what I understand, Zach does a lot of ultimatum type of stuff. Get rid of this guy, or I won't show up if that person's there, and it's successfully canceled a lot of people. Um, I don't know. Once you're on any of those shows, like Nick, for example, Nick's not going to have a problem getting traction because he was on Ghost Adventures originally. So he's made. That unless he just does something incredibly bad, or I don't know, it'd be kind of hard to lose traction. I mean, he's just one of the big names out there. So was I told? Yeah. Oh wow, yeah, I'll check that. Let me check that out. I'll definitely check that out. That's yeah. I watch a lot of stuff on YouTube, man. It's too many people out there just putting out fabricated stuff, man. The AI. What happens is now everything's like AI, and they're making like weird shadow figures and all kinds of stuff. It's all fabricated. They make pretty cool videos, but it kind of spoils it for real evidence because it makes the real evidence not look as spectacular. You know, I've seen some of these videos where people are like getting yanked out of their bed by their feet and they're like their legs are in the air. I mean, those are not real, but they're cool looking. You know, it's but I will never resort to that. We talked about that type of
We
stuff.
did.
Yeah, we will never resort to that. We just enjoy what we do and we share the evidence, and it's going to be whatever we put up is going to be the real deal.
That's one thing that I can always vouch for and like sleep easy with is the fact that we really do put out what we truly believe, not think, what we truly believe we're hearing and seeing. Yeah. And
Yeah,
that's really it. I mean, we're
it's
very, very honest,
and we're very
and
blessed.
anybody's, always welcome to investigate with us. So,
Yeah, true. If anybody's, I mean, we're going to be on the road here very soon. So wherever we are, I mean, we'll be live, so we'll be letting you guys know where we're going to be at. Um, but you guys are always welcome anytime to link up with us, and we'll go do an investigation. Also, like I said, we're going to start doing uh, the private type. It's kind of like a private reading in a way, but you'll get a copy of it, and you'll be able to get. It's even cooler, in my opinion. It's cool getting a psychic reading. It's even cooler when you get to have an EVP of your loved one.
yeah, and we've decided we're going to kind of like, well, we want to incorporate that for like a lot of our viewers.
Hmm.
And then I also noticed somebody in the chat, Janet, said she's looking forward to it. So we are gonna like kind of like document really and share with everybody like our experiences with our travels.
Yes.
Yeah, we do have a bucket list. I heard you saying that when I ran upstairs.
Hmm.
That includes like a lot of haunted things that we really want to include everybody in, and we want to go experience those things and you know
Yeah. We got a big list.
enjoy it and share it with everyone really. And we are literally doing it for ourselves and nothing else.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
we don't
yeah,
care about views. We
we
realize that
appreciate
we
it,
do. I mean, don't
but
get me
that's not
wrong.
the only reason we do it, right? Is basically what you're saying.
It's yeah, it's legacy for one. Two, we can document our adventures on YouTube, and YouTube is pretty generous with their storage space. You know, because once I stopped saving endless footage because it's filling up phone after phone after phone, and YouTube. This is all the final product. So you know we get to that keep a log of that, and
A log, I think, was the word I was looking for.
it's really cool evidence. It's the real deal. So and we get to see our progression, and I get to see my editing get better over time. That's really cool. You know, to be able to do all this myself too, because when I started YouTube, I was a tech moron. Believe me, I could barely navigate YouTube.
That's his new job. And mine is really like the history on all the things. And I really enjoy it. But I can go down a rabbit hole because then when I find like something that connects, then I want to see. Well, for instance, when we did the drownings at Eastgate, I started
East Fork.
or East Fork, excuse me.
Mhm.
I started noticing that like they were all around the holidays, which makes sense. And then, of course, this 4th of July, right, not too long after we
Two,
done it, there were two.
two more.
I was like, these are all holiday weekends. I really started like tying that together. So then it makes me want to look up like more and more. And then I found
We
out,
can't get back.
yeah,
We're
could go
blocked.
down a rabbit hole with that, and you go down a rabbit hole with editing. So it's
Sometimes,
perfect.
yeah.
So we make a really good like couple when it comes to that. I wanted to address a couple things. Trisha, I
Good.
will get with you after.
Yep.
When Whisper says, I love the fact that you keep it real, not the fake acting crap. Thank you. We appreciate that.
Yeah, definitely, because I can't do that, guys. I'm sorry, man. It's now if some I can't lie. If I might be able to squeeze out a fake possession or two. If Sci-Fi or Travel Channel said, "Hey, we'll sign you right now." I'm just kidding.
Cecilia says, plus you are enjoying doing it, and that is actually
That's number one.
That's the biggest thing.
Fun.
You know, yep.
Having
and
a good time.
like quality time together. You know, we had kids very young, so it's something that we have in common that we can enjoy doing, that we can help and share with others. And it's like an endless supply of like things. There are so many. Well, I have a book, I've shared that before. We have a book of all the states and all their most haunted things.
Haunted United States.
Yeah, so my goal is to really kind of go to all the states and hit at least
Some of these.
one thing. That is a goal, not a promise. So we'll see what happens.
We're gonna make the rounds, guys. I'm the one who pushes. I push her.
He does. That's why I'm here looking a mess
But then
after working 16 hours.
She always is happy that we go, though, especially when she sees the evidence.
He pushes. Yeah. He does push, even when I give him the evil eye.
St. Augustine, I want to. That's one of the ones that's on the list, and I want to go to the lighthouse. I want to do a lighthouse. Ever since I saw that investigation on ghost hunters, you see a literal shadow figure leaning over the railing and looking down. I want to see that with my own eyes. I saw a shadow figure at Edenton Cemetery. We caught a shadow figure at the Thomas house.
Yep.
I want to see another one. I want to keep seeing that. I want to see a full-body apparition that I could even see facial features. I want to see. Most people would literally lose bodily function if they came face to face. Like Tabitha talked about the floating head of Milton in her grandmother's kitchen.
Yep.
You know, I don't know if she could stand that. You could probably handle that now.
Now, absolutely, I could now.
Most people forget about it. Who could take a blast to the ticker like that? You know what I mean? Like I don't know. I'm getting up there. You know, I got high blood pressure.
Yeah, you give your own ticker blast sometimes.
Oh man, I get startled when I saw that shadow figure at Edenton, guys. I'm telling you, if I could just put this image into your head, I saw a blacker than black shadow figure running. I saw the arms and the legs striding like across like 3 or 4 full strides. That
was one. And then the other day we were literally just doing something in our house, and he was like, he heard a noise at the back door. He's like, oh! And I laugh so hard every time he does it, because I'm like, okay, big old paranormal guy.
I get startled.
I'm not afraid of anything.
I'm not
afraid. There's more than being startled.
Being scared and startled.
If you were watching us when we were at the Thomas house and you came in that room and I was standing.
What do you mean? It was live. It was live.
I know. That's what I'm saying. If they were watching, they could tell me if that was being startled or straight up.
That's scared. Come on. That is, you jump out on somebody and you scare them. It's not really a scare. It's a startle, right? Okay, you're surprising somebody.
You're just saying it's a startle because you're a man. You were scared.
Okay. I guarantee you.
She just startled me.
I guarantee you. Okay, let's put it like this. What if it was a spirit that stepped out of that room, a full-bodied apparition? Yes, I'd probably go, huh, at first, and then I would have a conversation with him.
It really depends on how I felt in the moment. Because if I really felt like, if it scared me enough to run down the hallway, then I'm not going back to calm down and be like, okay, I shouldn't have ran.
Well, you just made me jump backwards. If it was even a spirit would make me jump backwards, but look.
Lisa says, sorry, but it was a scare. Thank you, Lisa.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. I'll give you that one. But all right, but look, if you were in Ghostbusters, the movie, the library scene.
Slimer's so cute.
Where they're in the library and they look around the corner and she's going through books and they say hello and she goes, shh, and she shushes them. Would you have a conversation with that? I would. You know,
it's hard for me to think of it like that because Like
That's
we
like
know how.
that's like a one in a lifetime thing. How many chances are you going to get to be face to face with something like that? You know what I mean? That would be a dream come true.
It's hard for me to look at that like in reality, but I see what you're saying. Like just the books and stuff, like levitating and floating in the air, right? That's what happens in that scene.
Yeah, well, I mean,
there's,
not
like,
when it
some
goes,
weird
"Rah!"
characters.
Not when
Yeah,
it does
yeah,
that, but when
yeah.
it's just, you just see, like, the librarian, she's floating there, and she's, like, moving books around. Like, that, I'd like to see something like that. And I think that there's stuff like that out there to be caught. All right, they're giving you credit for the scare. That's all right. That's all right. I'm allowed to get scared once in a while. It's all good.
Or more frequently than you'd like to share.
That's all right. I leave those on I put those on the videos for fun.
I know.
Yeah, we leave them in.
We have bloopers all the time.
Yeah, we like to leave in the bloopers. Have we ran? I don't think we've ever ran. Neither one of us
have
ever ran out of any place.
We have definitely ran.
When did we run?
Or like walked out quickly. So like the night at
we walked backwards
where the Tottens were and all the trees were like fucking shaking and stuff.
Ooh, yeah,
like,
that was.
We practically ran out of there.
It sounded like literally. It's if you've ever seen like an African wildlife show where they have like a tree full of monkeys and they're shaking the trees. We heard a tree being shook like that, like violently, and it was rather negative.
It was crazy because it was like everything else was not moving.
We got told to leave.
There were just certain things like we were told to leave. We're always respectful.
Yeah, but
the
energy
we were heading
shifted.
out, and then all of a sudden, like you just got this really bad like energy feeling, and then like only certain things like started, like the wind was blowing, but it wasn't blowing. That's the only way I can
Not
describe
like that.
it.
Not like that.
And
it
we
wasn't.
ran out of.
It was. They were telling
Bethel,
us get out of here.
Like literally, I started crying. That was when like the feet were like
she
that.
was crying, and she was like 20 feet ahead of me, and I was walking backwards with my hands up, like we're leaving, let us leave. You know, like it's.
So we definitely have been like
not
run out of places.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
we have physically, like I physically wanted to run, and you were like,
yeah, but
just
you can't
calm
do that.
down. Exactly.
You can't do that. You know, you gotta stand your ground to a certain extent. You know, you back out. You know, and you kind of bow out. You know, I'm gone. You know, and you tell them like I'm not here to disrespect you.
Yep.
I'm leaving you in peace.
That is
something
something you are really good about.
You know, it's and they do. They let us leave. They let us leave. There's been one time when we were out at Edenton and I knew something was hanging on. Remember that? I rolled the window down. I know you could feel it too. And I was like, you got to go now. I'm like, anything negative, if anybody came with us that's from the cemetery, if you didn't come with us, you can't come home with us. So you have to go. You got to leave now. And like all of a sudden, whoosh, it just cut loose and you could feel it. But those were the few extreme circumstances that we've had.
But then just technically, yes, we have like had that issue, you know.
But you know, we interact with a lot of spirits. I mean, we catch some crazy stuff, guys.
We really do.
And those were back in the days where I was getting stuff like you're gonna catch a beating, we're gonna F you up. I used to have some hecklers and that were making threats a lot. Those are gone though. Those are pretty much.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, we've been pretty. Because I think that's because they know we're here to stay. You know?
Yeah. You know, Lisa's right. That's the thing. Like, I won't push it even for content. It's hard though. You know, there's been times where we've planned to go out and it's been like a week and we've had shit weather. Then we get a beautiful night. We're out there 15 freaking minutes and you feel the energy go south and then you hear leave. It's like, all right, well, we're going we're going to find something else to do.
Absolutely.
You know, we do leave. You have to leave because I trust in the people that surround us. You know, that's why they surround us. That's why we want them there. So if they're saying get out, there's a reason. And
And we
You
respect that
gotta
reason
respect that.
regardless of what it is.
It's
Yeah.
just like in life, man. You don't go around, puffing your chest out, acting like some of these clowns do in the mob genre. But in the spirit world, keyboard tough guys, you don't want to do that either, because there are spirits that will call your bluff. They'll follow you home and they'll F with you. And
And
that's
I
the
wouldn't even say, like, we call those negative, not really demonic. Just
yeah.
kind of tying it into
They're just
everything
nasty
else.
people.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, not demonic.
yeah.
But that's what we do, guys. Lynn and I were telling you to leave. It was oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that was Edenton Cemetery, I believe. That was one of them. The night that I saw that shadow figure, we did not go in. She heard like metal, what she thought were keys, but she heard it from her right, but I was on the left. The keys did jingle, but I don't know what she heard. When the thing was running, she was hearing something. So there was some type of noise that she was hearing that thing was generating. And when I saw it, I felt something in the pit of my stomach, and I couldn't go in. So then we stayed right outside the gate.
Yeah.
But
And I think that's where we were the last time. And then I have also had the opposite experience. Like when we went over to Bobby Mackey's, it took us a couple trips over there before I would go in the tunnel.
That's right.
Because I was afraid. I did find out later that I think it's just because I was more like
Claustrophobic.
claustrophobic. And it's actually a big open tunnel, but I was more claustrophobic in the thought like we were going to get trapped inside there. Like some rocks were going to fall down and there was going to be no way to get out, to the point where I was telling my kids, like, we're going underground. If you don't hear from me by this time.
Yeah, I don't like that
That's
either.
how nervous I was.
Yeah, I'm not.
But then when
I'm
we
not
got
good on
in
that.
there, like, I didn't have a negative feeling.
It was just a drainage tunnel,
But
guys.
in
A
our
sewer.
car, when we were sitting there, we got some really negative stuff. Just in the car, outside, before we went through the woods.
And once again, and I'm still going to stand my ground and say that there were some killers that were in that building. At one point in time, they literally decapitated a woman and threw her head down the frickin' the well that the slaughterhouse drained out into the. Yeah. So that type of energy and stuff happened there. Like it's not a myth. No, it's documented. It did happen.
It just didn't have like this like really bad. Like after we did our investigation there and I made it through the tunnel, I was like, oh, this wasn't as bad as I thought.
Until we got in the car.
We could do this again. But then we got in the car. We did some more spirit box stuff. We could hear things in real time on the spirit box. Mm-hmm. But then when we edited it, it was even like worse.
It was nastier.
It was really nasty. So I was like, oh, but that wasn't really in the tunnel with us, because I didn't even get that feeling in the tunnel anyway.
No, but we did. The cool thing is that Carl Lawson, the former caretaker that passed, you can actually see his exorcism on YouTube. He came through.
Yeah. Yeah. And that was actually a little different. But then at the Thomas house, have we ever gotten anything negative there? It just feels like home there. Yes, it literally feels like home.
Well, I got the I'm fucking with you when they turned the camera off, but I think that was just breaking balls.
Yeah,
yeah, that wasn't nothing. Yeah.
When I tell you, we're very comfortable there. We're always sad to leave, and honestly, this time we were considering even like stopping there for a more long-term basis, not like making it home, but maybe like finding an assignment there for a little bit
for the travel nursing.
So we had a long conversation about that, because it's also like out in the middle of nowhere. You have to drive to like.
But there's a big medical facility like right there.
Yeah.
Like literally, and I know that they probably have several RNs on staff.
Well, I looked it up, and actually they're looking for somebody more like my speed, more like an administration type, like a higher up type of I mean, I honestly, and I might be overqualified for the job. We talked about that because the experience was like nothing compared to the experience.
Because it wasn't a hospital; it was like a long-term.
It was like
a
long-term care, like an acute rehab facility. Right. So, but very beautiful on the outside. I didn't get to read the reviews, but that's how serious we were about that. That's how much that place felt like
It's a
home
really
there.
nice area.
It is also the people, the energy of the people who live there in the town. I've never had anybody be rude, not one time, not anyone we've met that's been a local at any of the gas stations.
Yeah,
It like
you're right. You're right. We haven't had
people
not
who
had an
come in,
incident.
like I like the fact that it was a like the Thomas House allows, it's truly a community. They used to allow people, they would have these big Sunday dinners, and people would come there after
I
church
think
and
they
they would
still
host
do
these
something
big
on
dinners.
Sundays. Yeah, and
Um,
they used to serve for the hotel. If you booked a night, they would serve you dinner and then
because it's a bed and
breakfast.
breakfast, yeah.
Yeah, but the dinners, I
Oh
mean,
my
they would
gosh.
knock your
There was
socks
this
off.
chocolate gravy.
Oh, forget about it.
John loved the chocolate gravy. Like literally chocolate that you would pour like on biscuits. It was like more
Hey,
like
Maria.
a dessert thing. So that it just feels like home there. It really does. And so that's what's going to be exciting about like our new adventures is going to be the opportunity to hopefully. And what else is nice about it is you could be yourself there. Like everybody there, or even people who are coming from outside visiting, 99.9% of the times, they're coming there for the paranormal. So then
Yes.
you have great company because you can freely do what you want to do. Because I can't tell you how many times John and I have really tried to get into other local places. This old 1800 schoolhouse that's now a restaurant.
Yeah.
We've offered money, like a private thing. We would sign waivers. There's been other bed and breakfasts that like people kind of frown upon those things. So it's
Believe it or
nice
not.
to go to a place where like everybody accepts it and be able to like be in your element and learn and do things about with other people. We met a couple this
The whole
last
town,
time.
man. The whole town is all like they welcome the paranormal,
Yeah.
which is really cool.
Yeah.
But it's just a historical. It's a mineral springs. It was a mineral springs spa. Several of these hotels were
Yeah.
in the 1800s, and a few of these are still in use. They're really cool.
There's like one that we're thinking about going. Sounds like it's like a mineral springs spa that's
The
like
Donahoe?
diagonal.
The Donahoe or the
It's
Armors,
like
the one that
Armors
rehab,
that
the
they're
Armors Hotel.
working
Yeah.
on right now. We were reading about that. We kind of want to go there just to try it, like not even for paranormal stuff, like just to experience it because it also was an old place. Not that we wouldn't do paranormal stuff, but we also kind of
do
want
it.
to go there for like the mineral springs.
Yeah,
and,
I mean,
yeah.
see what the appeal was. I mean, a lot of people made that trip in the 1800s for that. So, but Sleepy Hollow, that's another one.
That would be a good one.
There's one we have Mammoth Cave, and then we have the Seven Caves, which is out by Hillsboro here.
Yeah.
I want to do some local cave. I want to see. Because
I can only do caves. I'm telling you right now.
they're
If
big
it-
caves.
like big,
they're
open
not
caves.
Yeah, these
I'm
aren't the
not
ones you have to
crawling in
shimmy
any
down
little
in.
shimmy cracks, anything where my hips might get stuck in a hole and any crazy shit
No,
like
these
that. I'm not
actually
doing
have
it.
like paths and stuff. I think that like Mammoth Cave is huge. You know, like I've told her stories because I've been caving before where you have to literally crawl down through a little hole.
Oh, I saw
and
a rescue show about that too.
and it was just
and
like
that
that.
guy was literally stuck and all this water was rushing in and like people
I've been down in
it
some
would be
stuff like that.
13 hours before anybody could like when I see that stuff, not only am
Yeah,
I sad,
you
for-
get
I
claustrophobic just
I
watching
can't
it.
breathe. I get anxious, like worried about that person. I can't handle it. It's too much. It's just way too much.
So, anyways, guys, we're going to get some dinner going here, and
I DoorDash some dinner actually.
did you?
Mm-hmm.
It's on the way.
Mm-hmm.
How many minutes we got?
I know. I knew you were gonna be hungry. See, they're picking it up right now. Look at that.
Oh, cool. Where's it coming from?
It's Rally's. I got
Ooh.
that deal that we've been wanting to get
Oh,
with
cool.
the apple pie and the burger and the fry and the drink and all that for something, whatever. We just haven't had it in a long time. Thought it sounded good.
Fast food. You know, when you don't
It's
have
very
fast food in a
rare,
while.
honestly.
Yeah, we don't. We
It
really
feels
have
like a
cut that out.
treat.
That's one of big expense that we've cut out. We do a lot of the Hello Fresh meals.
Yeah.
So, anyways,
All right, I guess
Yeah.
we're waiting on dinner, and then
Yeah.
that's it. That's a wrap.
Well, yep. So we'll be back on soon, guys. We enjoy doing these lives in the evening from the couch. It's
We appreciate everyone's support.
Yep, definitely. And everybody new that came in, thank you. Smash that like button, and we'll see you guys soon. Until next time, Max, over and out.
Bye.